Like, what's up? Nice. Yeah, still now, Peter. Wait, slow down, move.
No, I wish you no.
Oh my gosh. Ele git van de signal jumping. Wait, slow down, this girl underneath. Yeah. Hey. There, then I read. Wait, slow down, no, I need to. Sorry, go snel, that. Ja, om weinig muis dit vaak als deel. West, dit was net dus en niet meer te zien. Wie bescheiden. Ja, snel, dus. Ja, snel, dus dat snel, net. Sorry, gosh. Move.
No, I wish you
no.
Yeah.
I was. What doing that? Girl, or ring is sorry, gosh. Zet sorry, in de ground, guys. Maas messen het opstiels en die bedient er next. Said no. War drawing next door van hem. Girl, or ring is hier, die berzelf. Delicious. What's up?
Well, you get with him opstiels en dan maar girl or stack salad self en op opstiels dat dat je nou stiller brewery fight money here.
Easy here. Delicious from the Mr. Pastor go show sauce.
Right back no guess master Scott Rogers is we get heard him master the Galax that said I north they got us that he delicious from he delicious from I've cost negro and over then.
Saragos. Such a cool
Go.
Flip.
Good. Ouse. Go. Ouse. Yes, ouse.
Up,
Yeah, bro.
Ouse. Yes. Good. Ouse. Through. Yes, ouse. Yes.
Badass.
Wait
for it.
Go.
Through and flip.
Good. Ouse. Go. Ouse. Yes, ouse.
Up.
Ouse. Good. Right there. Yes, good. Good. Ouse. Through. Yes, ouse. Yes.
Badass. Hey everybody, how's it going? Ron Watson, Positive Vibe, host of Disc Dogger Weekly. I am hanging out here with Beau. I have Beau in the green room. Beau Pearson, Down Under, Flipping Disc Dogz. We're going to talk a little bit, hang out, and going to have a little discussion before the USDDN on this fine Saturday fall morning. So, Beau, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm pretty good.
Awesome. Oh, hey, let me get rid of Jessica's thing from a while back there. All right. So, what's going on? How's everything?
Oh, it's pretty crazy here in Australia, but still got dogs, so it's pretty good.
Right. Grab some popcorn, man. Stay away from crowds. Right?
That's it. Everything we
Stay
do.
away from crowds. Stay away from cops. Stay away from
That's
crowds.
it.
Stay away from cops. Just, no, thank you. I will go somewhere else. Right? Yeah. That's crazy. But springtime coming up, I take it, starting to break. Weather, it looked good. We talked a little bit earlier on the test for the Skype, and your weather looked beautiful. It looked pretty nice out.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We've had some rain the last couple of days, but we were able to get out, have a bit of a jam today, so we're pretty happy with that.
Right on. Right on. Yeah. Yep. So we got a big day. It's USDDN Day here in the United States. So big contest, local here in Pacific, which is, you know, 12 minutes away. Right. So that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. Epi and I are qualified. April qualified with the Lanai last night. And with Gunner, I think, in toss and fetch as well. So that was pretty awesome. She had a good qualifier yesterday. So that was pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah.
That's probably the one competition. If anyone asked me to do one competition, or if I could do one competition, I'd be there.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, you can't just do the U.S. one though. Like, it isn't going to be the same at all. It's going to be like any other big U.S. contest, without the
Yeah,
international crowd, which is, a bummer. But what are you going to do? Make lemonade, man. Make lemonade. Get out there and jam.
that's it.
Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna try and live stream that thing today too. I'm gonna try and live stream that bad boy. I have so we have remote, like a remote internet, like much more than a MiFi kind of dealio. I mean, not
Yep,
really,
yep.
but kind of like way more. So I'm gonna take that to the park, my laptop, a few cameras, and try and do a live stream and content throughout the day. We'll see how
Awesome.
that goes. DiscDog.Live, baby.
That's it.
DiscDog.Live.
Keep us tuned in.
Right? We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to give it a shot. I think it would be really cool to have some coverage of that. Right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah. What else has been going on, Beau? Anybody else? If you want to sound off, you want to talk about anything, chat, bring it. I ain't hearing nothing from chat. You got him
Uh,
speechless, Beau. But yeah, so what else is going on?
Not much, man. We got some pups that have sort of grown up a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit, so
let's
they're
see a
getting
puppy. Who wants to see a
see a
puppy?
puppy.
Facebook user. If you want to be something more than Facebook user, so you can interact with the puppy. You want to go here? Go ahead, Beau.
There we go. We got little Harry.
Is that Harry?
That's Harry.
All right.
There we go. In shot.
Okay.
Their eyes have just opened the last 2 days. So
Stavit, friend that link that I just posted. So I'll post it from Stabby. Yay! That's super cool. I'm glad you joined and you got some puppy stuff. Hang on, let me switch this to the old guest feature here. Hang on. Boom and pow. Guest feature Puppy
there we go.
Madness. USDDN Day. This shit is real. So yeah, uh-oh. What just hit? Oh, was that you maybe getting in front of a speaker or something? I got like a bunch of
Put him in
feedback.
the chair.
So Stabby, if you go to this link here and friend that up or whatever you do on Facebook, um, that will your username and avatar will come through. You just have to connect with restream.io. And who's that one? Is that Harry still, or is that someone else?
No, this is Stevie.
Who?
Stevie.
Stevie?
Yeah. So they're
Cool.
all. We got six boys and 2 girls.
That's exciting, Beau.
Pretty crazy.
Yep. Yep, that's super cool. And we'll get rid of
Have we
that
got Mama Bear?
one, get rid of that one, and get rid of that one. There we go. And who's that, Beau?
This is Zoe, her mum. So this is Mama
Okay.
Bear. She's
And how old is
pretty crazy.
Mama Bear?
Mama Bear is just over 2.
Cool.
Pretty crazy disc dog. She's full of drive. Loves to kill that disc. Absolutely killer.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. And just so everybody knows, I will be trying to live stream the USDDN US finals today. So consider this like a soft announcement and keep posted. You can tell people who are cool, but you know, I might not be able to get service down there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. It's only a few miles away from where I get service now, so fingers crossed it'll work.
Have you got any clues for the winner, Ron?
What's that?
Have you got any clues for a winner?
Well, the good money, the obvious money has to be on Dre, but Stabby's here. Stabby's a badass from Israel.
Yeah.
And I don't know who else made it out. I'd put money on Dre if I put money on anyone. She's been playing really well. She's been playing really well. She's been hot. Yeah, and dude, fucking USCDN toss and fetch, she's gonna get 20 points minimum, right? Like, she'll be the bomb. So, oh no, what screen is stuck? Hang on, let me see. I will examine that. Beau, you're on.
I'm on.
Are you
No
moving?
worries.
I think you're moving.
Yep.
Wave your hand. Yeah, that low latency's got to go. And you just are getting ready to wave your hand. Yeah. So, okay. Thanks, Facebook user. Stabby. It's
Good luck today too, Stabby.
Yep. Yeah, everyone's going to need good luck today. It's going to be pretty cold. It's going to be wet.
What's the wind like?
What's that?
What's the wind like?
Don't know. It's usually 5 to 15 miles per hour there. Like, so there's usually a wind, and sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable. Oleg. Yeah. What's up, Oleg? Good to see you, man. All right. So we have... do I call Russia Europe, right? Like I do call Russia Europe when I'm talking about continents, right? It's not. Is St. Petersburg considered? St. Petersburg isn't considered Asia, is it, Oleg? If I want to be proper, we got continents going on, man. And Stabby, what continent is Israel officially on? What is the Middle East on? Is it on Africa? Is the Middle East on Africa, or is the Middle East considered part of the Med in Europe? Like when it comes to what continent they're on. That's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, chat. What do you want to talk about? Not doing much. It's not super exciting.
So what have you been up to?
Go ahead, Beau.
What have you been up to?
Dude, I've been trying to get all of this. Yeah, I thought it was Europe. All my shit together, because like we gotta find a place to be stable before winter. So we're gonna have to leave here from my brother's and go somewhere, which means everything's got to be upended and all my shit's got to be done. You know what I mean? And all my shit's not really done. And every time I learn something new, it takes me, you know, I don't know how long to figure out how to actually use it, right?
Yeah.
So there's been all that shit, which has been, I mean, it's cool. I dig it. I like learning how to do things, but I'm a little tired of like having to learn how to do something again.
Starting fresh.
Yeah. But the other thing that I'm doing, I ran across this Kenevin framework, which is the really awesome, like network management or learning theory framework. I don't know what you would process management framework, um, and I'm just completely floored by it. Like it
Is
actually.
the one you touched on earlier?
What's that? Yeah, yeah, it's the one that. Yep.
Yeah,
It's I've
awesome.
been mainlining the dude's stuff for like 24 hours. I bet you I've watched 15, 16 hours. I just watched 3 hours with him since you and I talked earlier, right?
Right.
But it's like the first intellectual framework. Georgios, what's up? Um, super awesome. Uh, the oh, I forgot what I was saying. I was looking at Lupo Georgios.
Greek Georgios.
What's that?
Is that Georgios from Greece?
Yeah, yeah. P Vibe Greece.
Yeah,
Can you see the whatchamacallit? So there's a YouTube chat and a. Can I share the no, I can't really share the restream chat. I don't think. Um, but if you like, you're on your phone though, right?
yeah. I've got YouTube next to it.
Yeah, yeah. So the chat will come through unless they're on Facebook.
There we go. We got him.
Yeah. But anyway, that framework, like complete. You know how when you're teaching somebody to do something and they want to know exactly how to fucking do it, right? And you know exactly how to do it, but you can't tell them,
Yeah.
right? Or somebody wants to know like a best practice for getting a drop, right? And it sounds so simple, like yeah, you know, how do I do this? And that idea that I can't tell you, I can show you, right? But I can't tell you. And how we actually navigate those decisions as professionals or as experienced handlers. This framework, that Kinevin framework, is it nails it. It completely freaking nails it, man. So I always talk about like a camp and shit. Like I'm really good with border collie shit, right? Like border collies who are creative and get
Yeah.
neurotic and whatnot. I'm really good with that. And my border collie shit flow chart is like 4 huge chalkboards long. You know, I could never even write it down. It's so crazy, right? And it's not only that, it's not a true flow chart. There are all these connections. Like we'll be over here working, and we'll be working the flow chart, and something will happen, and then I'll go bang. That's my answer, all the way over here, on the other side of the chalkboard, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I never knew how to explain that or how it worked. And that framework, it's right behind me, by the way. That framework is completely unbelievable, man. So I'm super super stoked about it. I've been doing that for 24 hours.
Sweet, man. I look forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah, I do too. There's this other unique like feedback method within it. There's a triangular feedback method that I think is thought provoking and unique. And so I'm going to try and use that as well.
Sweet.
So, yep. Live streaming. We're going to live stream this contest. This is run by the St. Louis Disc Dogs. Chris Knapp, I believe, is the big man in charge. But I do want to start running some live stream contests as well. So, like,
Cool.
yeah, some kind of organized live stream contests with a nifty little format. And that puts everyone on the hook, and get remote judging involved. So yeah. Whew. So you were talking about the circus earlier. You might get a move
Yeah,
on that.
we might be hooking up with the circus once we're out of lockdown. Most of you guys probably know Australia's gone pretty crazy for the last 2 years. We haven't performed in close to 18 months. So, yeah, we're getting itching to be back in front of crowds. The circus might be opening up after Christmas, and hopefully we'll be there.
Yeah, silver lining, baby, silver lining. Go for that light.
That's it,
Reach,
man.
reach.
We followed our mentor, Ron, and bought a bus.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you would have consulted me, I would have disabused you of that.
Yep,
But
yep.
it's pretty comfy, man. It's pretty comfy, and I've no doubt I could win her in here. It'd be hard, it'd
Yeah.
suck, but no problem. And I don't mind it. But yeah, go ahead, keep going. Got a bus.
We got it pretty set up. So at the moment we got 12 crates in there.
Uh-huh.
Pretty roomy crates. So that's pretty good. Heating, cooling, hot water, electricity. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting on the road and seeing what we can do.
Right? That's awesome, man. That's
And
awesome.
it's good to see you guys back out. Some of our friends or some of the guys we look up to, like the stunt dogs, Chris and Suey, Cara, Brian, they're
Yeah.
having some awesome shows at the moment. So we see that and it gives us hope as well. So we can't wait.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to do shows right now, man. Like, oh gosh, I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy to be. Kelpie question, Beau. Yeah,
Oh, no.
hang on, Kelpie question. There it is.
Sure. Australian dog breeds, is Kelpie cool and frisbee? Yeah, they are. They're really cool. Big jumpers. They're probably if I'm trying to describe a Kelpie, they're a little bit more towards like a cattle dog in behaviours. Like they don't
There's not as much
look,
eye. Yeah,
they don't care. They
yeah,
just go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They're fucking
a
beasts, Oleg. They're beasts.
That's it. That's it. A border will sit back a bit. They'll figure you out. A Kelpie will just run through you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're cow dogs. Apparently they're pretty finicky and aloof though. Like they're a little I don't even know how you would go about describing it socially. They're a
There-
little
There's a few, especially now with the Kelpies. There's quite a few getting around that are pretty. They do shut down pretty quick. Like if they think they've done it wrong, a lot of them do shut down.
yeah, and it's
Um,
not a soft thing either, right? Like it's a stubborn thing or an incompatible working relationship. Like it's a hard edged working relationship.
yeah,
Is my understanding of that.
a
I've
lot
worked
of
with a couple, and they were all
people.
awesome.
That's it. A lot of people here say they're really soft, but when you look at the dog as a whole, they're actually pretty hard.
Yeah,
They're a hard dog.
you could hit David Higgins up and ask him how soft kelpies are, and he'd tell you all about that, right? Like,
Yeah,
but that's where I picked up some of the nuance on the kelpie. He also has a lot of interesting stuff to say, like on the coolie as well. The herding breeds there in Australia. He has a pretty unique perspective. I dig him. I like David.
yeah. We got in our team we got Harry Potter. He's a Kelpie border cross,
Sweet.
and you definitely see the Kelpie in him. So
Yeah. Yeah, like a devil may care edge. A little Voldemort in there. A little Voldemort in there.
yeah, definitely Draco.
Yeah, funny. Funny. So, so yeah, what else is going on, man? I don't know. I don't have, I'm trying to see if I have anything that might be of interest to look at. Ooh, did you see that that upside down stuff I was throwing with Epi, the staker set point stuff?
A little bit of it,
The upside down out to the side?
just a touch.
Yeah, check this out. Okay, so I want to. Yeah, I'll let this play. I'll be right back, Bo. Shit. Yes, Epi, don't shit in the field. Ep.
Always.
All right, come on, handsome. So I'm gonna go around, get out. I'm gonna actually throw an upside down. So I'm trying to use this as like a set point drill. I think I can set right? 3 strides from right where I'm at. So my goal is to set 3 strides to elite. Get out. Catch.
Yep.
Yes, good man. That's awesome. House. Right, and then to be able to repeat that and be reliable on it. So what you're going to see here is initially he's round, get out. Initially he's stutter stepping a lot. Awesome. And he's going from kind of a run to this long-term collection. Watch what happens throughout. Yes. And this is kind of a test. It didn't behave like it should, so he over pursued it. Watch him after that. Yes. 1, 2, 3 leap. And look at his pace now. Everything about him has changed. 1, 2, 3 leap. Come on, Epi, don't get creative. Don't be creative. Go the right way, dumbass. Round, get out. I'm tired of it, Ron. Yeah, good man. Right, and so again, what I'm trying to get here is, yes, and this will be the non-example of that, essentially. Yeah, I kind of like that. That upside down thing going there, I think, is solid. But I like that lateral move with those. I know he's not a huge leaper, but he's not a big dog, right? But he puts a nice, pretty leap on everything, and that's a good. So hang on, I'll bring you in here, Bo. We'll hang out and sit up, and then people can see you talking as well. Go ahead, Bo. Yeah, let's pick up what we got going on. Go ahead.
Like it's purpose. It's throwing with a purpose, and throwing with a target, which I'm not sure a lot of people do. Especially here, you don't see that a lot where people are throwing to a specific spot, unless it is in a game.
Yeah, and so you have this throwing with purpose, right? You have setup with purpose as well, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing that I find most interesting is the dog starts to play with purpose.
Yeah.
Right? And what you can see with Epi, we'll watch the rest of this, is you can see him very, very thoughtfully, methodically moving nice and slow and moving around and making these catches. And then we go out and play Frisbee and he fucking goes to apeshit and we go to apeshit as a team and it doesn't work all that well, right? I need to work this, like into my warm-up and into what I'm doing generally for it, I think, to really hold. But I find it a super awesome exercise. And so Oleg just posted, I'm going to read this for anyone who's looking at their phone. Can't catch the general idea of upside down. Does it improve chase versus interception form? Upside down, it has an S turn, right? Don't take a shit. Yeah. Don't be creative and definitely don't mix those two. There you go. Wisdom from Greece.
Every training session, the dog wants to go right in the middle of the field.
Yeah. Well, there was something going on that spot. All the dogs hit on it. I knew it was coming. And it actually took some time to resolve. But anyway, the upside down throw. The thing that's important, and the reason that I'm throwing upside down within this little drill here, and I think this is going to become a Disquando form, actually. The reason that I'm throwing upside down is because, well, just like actually this is a top to my tobacco box or bucket can, right? And if I throw it upside down, it goes like this, and then it turns and gets hung up, and then it falls. So the upside down thing for the dog, the disc doesn't efficiently cut through the wind. And it so the disc neither runs nor floats. It does something in between. And when that thing does that, right, when the disc is on anhyzer and then it starts to curve, you'll see it in the video with Epi. On that second curve is a very attractive leaping point. So the dog learns to watch the disc out there, that it's going to move back and forth on him late in its trajectory. I should pay attention. Might not be where I thought it was. You saw him miss that right side up one earlier in the video. So that swerve, and let's get a look at that swerve and watch Epi dial this into nice smooth movement.
Yes.
Right? 1, 2, 3, leap. And here we're going to see the disc go up on this angle and drop back, and I hope we get a look at it. I think it's a good question. And here's the test, so I'm going to throw like a regular floater and see if he over pursues it. I'll bring him across, and we still have that residual slow collected movement throughout, even though I brought him outside the pattern. And now I run him on some other patterns, and he's running. Look at him, dude. He's bebopping around. He's like derp derp derp. And at that speed, and that type of gait, he's going to be able to leap anywhere. Look at Epi picking up picking up the dog points, leaping for a fucking 6-inch disc, right?
Yes. Oh, that was pretty, Epi.
Right.
That was pretty. Way to pick up those dog points, Epi.
So that's one of the things I've been pretty excited about, Beau. It's a set point drill, dude, and I can do it to this side, and I can do it to that side, right? And the dog will, I can do a pendulum with a big leap at 8 yards. Do you want it 5 strides or 3 strides?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a good exercise. We'll have to try it tomorrow.
Yeah, you should give it a shot. And then what you want to do with it is adjust the stride and get the dog to throttle down and rock back and watch it. Yeah, I think you'll dig it. And for those of you guys who don't quite understand why I want 3 strides, there's this idea called a set point drill within agility. There's actually a set point drill for Frisbee. When you see people work overs with their dog over the jump, and they put the dog 1 or 2 strides away from the jump and they do the over with the throw, what you're doing is you're isolating the collection. You're setting the collection point. And that's a set point drill, especially when done real close to the obstacle. And so what I'm trying to do with this upside down throw is to get a set point drill from me to 3 or 4 strides to some kind of speed to collection to leap reliably. And the power of the set point drill is that you can do it exactly the same every time. Right? When we're throwing it 30 yards or we're throwing a zigzag, it's very hard to do it exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that upside down staker, if you ever get involved in an accuracy contest with anyone at 8 yards, the upside down staker, dude, it's unmissable. Totally. Yeah, it's highly accurate. Yeah. It's a great putt.
Yeah.
I putt like that when I'm having putting problems in disc golf. I totally will putt like that. I'll do a 15-footer like that over a regular putt any day, man. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and if my confidence has been shot by some really terrible putting, I will totally fucking bust that one out, man. Yeah, super cool, Giorgio. Sorry I didn't say bye while you were being nice to us.
So
Facebook
we also
user, upside down top. You mean upside down vault? Hey, Sim, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, super cool. So I hope to do a little bit more stuff like this as well, right? Like a little more kind of just hang out. What's up, Facebook user? If you would like to be something other than Facebook user, you can go here. Hopefully it's saved. You can go there, and that will take you to a place where you can friend Restream, and then your avatar and username will be available. I take it you're coming to us from the DiscDogger group. So yeah, that staker set point stuff has been something I've been pretty excited about, Beau. I get excited about
it's
silly
pretty,
things.
it's pretty good, man. Because the other thing is when you think about jamming a flash, if you start throwing set points in there with jamming the flash, you can tidy your game up so tight too.
Yeah. Yeah. The so I'm gonna we can totally move to jamming a flash in just a sec. That set point drill. The Epi's not a big dog. When I was bitching about him, he's just not a fucking big dog, right? He isn't. He isn't a big leaper. He's 16 and a half inches tall, and he's kind of burly. He's a little thick. He's a little beefy. He's got some Aussie stuff going on. So even when he leaps big, it's only, yay high, 35 inches high. Doing this with King. Yeah, dude. Now we're talking. Right? Head high on all catches. Three strides away from me, head high. 3 strides away from me, head high. Like super, super useful with a big leaping dog. And
Yeah.
he gets the experience step, collect, jump, rather than run your ass off and, squeeze your butt cheeks real tight and fling for it and hope you get it, right? Like, which is what happens with an aggressive athlete, right? Without that collection or without that isolation, localization. So, yeah.
With that, you say
What's
he's
that?
not a big jumper. What's something you would suggest? I know a few people ask about this. What's something you would suggest if dogs drag their feet? Do not lift them. Agility, they'll
So
jump.
if they don't drag their feet, they're not targeting the object. They're over pursuing. Right? So Epi's recumbent. He's about here. He's more recumbent than I would like him, but he over pursues. Right? He over pursues. I try to keep that in check by throwing interceptions, by limiting the amount of chase that I give him. If he catches an interception, he catches flat. If he's chasing, he over pursues and goes there. And so I choose to throw more interceptions and I keep him safe that way. But it's an over pursuit problem. So this would be for that. The upside down stuff at a distance. You've seen that with the polka, the premature jumpulation stuff. Baseline set point stuff like over a jump and over an oxer. Single jump, double jump over it for a catch. At a set point distance, at a 3-yard distance, at a kind of an open distance. Not a sprint, but an open distance, yeah. So, those kinds of things. But it's an over pursuit problem, Beau. It's an over pursuit and a collection problem. That same dog doesn't drag their ass on a vault now, do they?
Won't vault.
Huh?
Won't vault.
What vault does a dog drag his leg on? And I'll tell you the one he's over pursuing on or not targeting.
He'll do leg vaults,
Mm-hmm.
but kneeling. He's a border collie. He's
Yeah.
normal sized border collie. He'll do kneeling leg vaults once you're standing, or once you go off the back. Just will not go. Just skims across your back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so. I'll give you the good practices on that. Right. God, that fucking framework, man. You guys should take a look at that. Not joking. I'll spell it out for you if you want to. Cynefin Cynefin framework. The concept is not understood, right? The idea that I go off of anything. Top is a linear expression of that, right? I go off of it. You could break it down into a stall. Do you have a stall with him?
Yeah. Got a stall.
Yeah.
He's got a back. He's got a back stall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's good at it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you are waiting for him to leave before you throw. The end. No trigger. No trigger. Because he won't go, you can't commit to going. So you have to wait for him and look out of the corner of your eye, and you drop your back for the trigger where he should go, and you look back and he starts to go and the throw happens. So the vault is a trajectory-based vault, not a target-based vault, right?
Yeah.
Right? So what you want to do is tell him vault and drop and throw.
Yep.
All right, that's how the vault works. You tell him vault and you go neutral, and you can keep your eye on him there, make sure he's staying neutral. But once you go, you're throwing. So now as you start to drop, he responds and the target appears. And now he's got that ability to target it, right? So that timing, the leg vault with the same timing. If I had to guess, you're saying top and you're dropping your hand a little bit, or from there, you're just kind of doing this thing from that pose of showing where it is. Yeah. And so he's only going after the target if it's already there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's not moving or anything. Even if you're throwing it, it's doing this thing because he's a shitty vaulter, quote unquote, right? As far as you guys are concerned. Professional Frisbee, you can't trust his vaulting ability, right? I don't want to be mean to him. But let's fucking get real, right? So he's not a good vaulter. So you go top and you go, right? And the trigger, let me switch this here. I'm going to embiggen myself as if I need to do that. I should be good here, and I will bring you in there. No, really, I'll bring you in there. And yeah, perfect. So you want to go here, top, right? And you want to come neutral. And make sure that this neutral settles, right?
Yeah.
And then the trigger for the leg vault, perfect. Top, I go neutral, dog's right there. That's the trigger, right?
Yeah.
And I know you know this, right? But we're going to go through it very, very cleanly because you'll see. So you see Mango right there, right? I say top, I go neutral, and I go here, and he responds, right? If I'm here, this is not very clear.
Or
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, no, you're doing it from a kneel. Huh? Yeah, you're doing it from kneeling, so you don't even have the presentation. You're kneeling, right? You're kneeling.
Yeah,
Lay your
yeah,
leg down or
yep,
down, right?
yep,
Top, boom. Or, right, I'm standing, or no, I can do it here. So I'm kneeling on the ground, right? I have my leg like
yep,
that. And you're doing this, and then this is the trigger, right?
yeah, yeah,
So there's nothing from the obstacle telling the dog to do it, right? So
yep,
what you can do is you can set up and you can be like not clean in the line, or you can set up open, right? Like
yeah,
to him. So there's really nothing for him to vault off of. Top, boom. Or top, chest here, boom.
yeah,
Stall, boom. Top, boom. And the disc is there. But yeah,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's probably a trigger problem, and because he's unreliable going for it and too aggressive for going after it in general, and that's a correct assessment, right?
Yeah, it seems almost in general, like if he's chasing a frisk disc down, it's almost, yeah. He runs. He does overshoot it, but he just does not leap for it.
Yeah, and does he run frantically and straight and low, head down? Yeah, yep,
It's very clear.
yep.
Yeah,
So you have that dog that goes, and you know
it
he's
doesn't pop.
fast, and he goes, right? And when he does go, he's fast, and you can't trust
Yeah,
him to do the skill. Then you get caught watching him and trying to feed him up there,
totally.
right? And you can't do that. You have to establish a trigger, right? And so here we are on good practices.
Yeah, yeah,
Weight, a weight, a solid trigger, knowledge of where we're going and what type of vault we're doing. Those are super important good practices.
yeah. Cool.
And actually I would actually say if you have them at all down, those would be best practices, which we'll be talking about best versus good practices for a really long time. Yeah, yeah. Um, it certainly doesn't establish the trigger, Oleg. So Oleg said, looks like ball work as a foundation for vaulting contradicts with platform as a trigger concept. It just doesn't resonate with it. It's not germane, right? Once the dog starts to vault off of us, it'll be very apparent what the trigger is immediately, right? And that's what we're looking for. So the only thing that we have to teach Oleg is the trigger, and the dog knows the entire rest of the skill. So essentially, the dog gets a cheat code the first time we set up the trigger, right? And so the dog gets a cheat code and performs the skill, right? But yeah, it does not resonate with the trigger. We are not teaching the trigger with ball work. We're teaching vault discrimination with ball work. And we're also teaching targeting of the obstacle with ball work. Or I'm sorry, targeting of the target of the cookie, not just the targeting of the obstacle. That's the other problem that you have, Beau. You have an obstacle-based or a trajectory-based vault concept.
Yeah,
So the dog is taking a trajectory and expecting you to deliver it there.
yeah, yeah. If you put it in front of, if you put it there, he'll take it every time.
Mm-hmm. I've made throws with dogs. I've made throws with dogs where I make this adjustment, right? And I make the throw before I even bend down and before we can even go, right? And it's right there. And the dog hasn't even begun to respond. The vaulting platform is there. The disc is hovering 3 feet off my back. Everything's perfect. And the
Straight
dog
under.
vaults off my back to the right.
Yeah.
I did it, because they're vaulting trajectory, right? They're like lots of dogs, guys. I'm not. They're 6 people here, right? Six people. Yeah, go chat. Small but mighty. That's what we are. Yeah, the dog thinks the object is to do trajectory. Many dogs think that. And the handler always proves it right by shoving it into the dog's mouth, or we miss it. So it's obviously that way. And
Totally.
you got to get back to that. I'm so fucking thrown by this stuff behind me. Like every time I start reasoning through a problem I've reasoned through before, or I've struggled with, trying to
Perfect.
articulate and talk about. All I want to do is talk about this friggin' framework of understanding, right?
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Like it's insanely good stuff. It's a super fast. So within I'll pull this up. I'll just pull up one. We'll talk about it for a sec. And before I bore everyone too much, we will get out of here because I got to tear down my whole freaking computer system here and take it to the field, which will be super exciting. I'm just going to find a good picture of the. Oh no, I don't have a good one. All right, I'll show this crazy town one. So this is the framework. All right. And so what we have is like this quadrant-based thing, right? You know what? No, hang on. I'm going to screen share. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to screen share instead. So these quadrants that are in this, there we go. Here we go. Perfect. So these quadrants that are in here, they are not really quadrants. They're domains, right? So they're just ways in which we function, right? Screen share and Safari and boom. All right. So here it is right here. This is a good one. No. Yes. Yeah, perfect. So what we have down here, you guys can see my cursor, right? Sorry, you guys can see my cursor, right? You see it over there?
Yep.
All right, and let me do this over here. There we go. And now I will shrink it. No. All right. So clear on the right, and you guys can see my cursor, right? On the right, we have ordered systems or ordered domains. Clear. It's crystal clear. Everybody knows it. You tell your dog sit, and you lift the cookie up. There's a best practice there. When the dog's ass hits the ground, you tell him yes, you give him the cookie, the end. Everybody knows how to do it, can't argue with it, right? And of course, you could probably get it better. 1 + 1 = 2. There's a best practice. You put 1 next to 1, and you write down the 2, and we're done, right? Super simple. Everybody wants their dog training to be like that. Single commands for really good dog trainers in a neutral, stable environment are probably in this clear domain, right? And then moving on, we have this. Oh, by the way, in the clear domain, we sense, we categorize, we respond. We watch what happens, we put it into a bucket, and then we deal with the bucket based upon best practices. Everybody knows that shit. And if you don't, you look it up on YouTube, right? The complicated thing, what we do here, we have like, let's say if the clear was a sit, complicated would be sitting on the run, right? So the dog is approaching and sits, right? Same things are going on. We have the same kind. I have a recall. I have a sit command. I have good practices for both, right? But it's a little more complex. Still very doable. I know how it works. I can control the behavior, right? Because I've got them well. If I don't have them, well, it's not fucking complicated. It's complex. It's over on the other side, which is where all the messy shit happens, right? And everyone wants to be here in the complicated place, right? They want to be right here in this complicated place because that's where I'm super competent and what I do makes the dog do this and I know how it all works and all I have to do is look at it and figure it out and then respond. And if I can't do that, I'll contact Ron or Beau and they'll tell me exactly how to do it and then I will respond, right? Yeah. And that's how Frisbee is played. And dude, it's not that way. When you're perfect, when your routine is perfect, it goes into the complicated place for a little while. When your routine is perfect, it goes here. And then you struggle to keep it here, where everything's working and everything's awesome, you know? So you sense, you analyze, you figure out what's happening based upon how you know it works, and then you respond, right? And we have good practices here. Which allow us to do what we want to do in many different ways. There's probably a best way, but it might not be best for all dogs, all people, you know, etc. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, and we might need some flexibility to do some shit, right? So we have good practices. And then over here in complex, what we have is we have these behaviors are repeatable and understandable. These behaviors over here, we don't understand. We have too crazy of inputs coming in, right? We have a crazy dog, we have a frazzled handler, and we have a team that has 60% mastery over their base level mechanical skills. Anyone want to make any predictions on that? Right? We don't have enough information. We don't have enough experience. We don't know what's going to happen. Right? As soon as we put the dog in motion, now we have a complex situation. We have a handler who has to respond, a dog who has to respond, the team has to respond, the discs have to be in the right place, the wind is blowing, the crowd is there, right? All this shit. And even in our dog training, anytime we're doing anything that we don't fully 100%, anything that we can't 100% put over there on the right, right? We probe, we sense, we respond. And what we do is we figure out what we want to do, right? And we do a little test. We see how it works. A safe to fail test, by the way. Everyone wants a game that's fail safe. You don't want a fail safe game. As soon as you have a fail safe game is great until it's not. At which point in time you're fucked completely and rightly. You know what I mean? Fail safe. When it fails catastrophically. And you spend so much energy trying to keep it from failing. Instead, when you get into this, and when you're in a complex area, I'm learning new things. I'm at the top edge of what I'm doing. I barely understand. I just learned this shit last year. I don't really know what I'm doing, right? You're you're in real trouble. You can't make anything happen. You know what I mean? So you probe and you sense what the response is, and then you amplify or dampen based upon what you want to do. And we just navigate it that way. And it's how we learn how to do the things that we know how to do. This picture here, right here. So what we have, am I not in the right place? That should be, there we go. So in the simple, right? We sense the situation, we categorize, we respond, right? We categorize it, we throw it in a bucket, we respond, it becomes a best practice. Done. Then we put 4 or 5 of those things together, right? And we move up, and now we're in this complicated area, obedience. When you know all of the skills and the team knows all of the skills, it's now a complicated process, right? So we have, I sense the problem, I analyze the problem based upon what I know because we're already fluent in this whole thing, and then I respond. Analysis could be consulting the internet, consulting an expert, blah, 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 right? But we're, and then we're going to apply our good practices that we know how to do to solve that, right? But in both of these, we know what we're doing. Soon as we get over here into the complex, right? And here's what I want to blow up, because this is what this little question mark here, right? We probe, right? I can't read it, it's too small. That's terrible. We something then evaluate. I can't freaking read it. Oh my God, I'm so sad.
Which part?
Experiment, evaluate. Experiment, evaluate. Repeat is what it says up here in your probe. So what we're doing when we're trying to jam in a flash, experiment, evaluate, experiment, evaluate. We're probing with that, right? And we're taking this complex realm of shit we don't know how to do. We don't know anything about this shit. And we're trying to make it complicated so then we can use it and control it, right? But there are no good answers. The path will be created with every step. The art of learning how to play. There's no fucking recipe for that.
No.
There's no recipe for that. You have to get in there and play around with it. The other thing that's really crazy is that everyone wants to understand what they're doing, right? I know, I just need to know what I'm doing before I go out there, before I try this. What am I doing? What does this mean? And you can't know that until you get out there. And I can't help you until I've seen what the probes I've offered you in the instruction are gonna lend. So when I work a dog, I have this grand plan. I'm gonna do this. I have a best practice. I look at the dog, I write that off right away. That ain't working, right? And now I'm on to good practices. I have these things that, you know. And so I step in, I assess the situation, and I immediately start throwing the probes out there that I think are going to lead me to where I want to go right away. And then I evaluate the dog. But I might change gears 5 or 6 times in 4 or 5 minutes because my probes didn't lead to the right response, right? And if I think I have control over it, or I'm trying to control it, I can't figure out what I'm doing. Right? You can control what you're doing, or you can learn what you're doing. You can't do both. Right?
True.
And so anyway, this framework sets up the idea of playing in the complex. And the complex is about emergent behaviors. And there's also this concept that he has, which is exaptive. Adaptive is like changing a little bit. Exaptive is what gives evolution its big power. And the whatchamacallit he uses, the metaphor he uses is dinosaurs, feathers, right? And feathers for mating purposes, right? And then one day a fucking pterodactyl fell off a cliff and his feathers saved him. And feathers were exapted, like a complete quantum reimagination of what a feather was for. And then the feather then led to flight, right? And so within Jam in a Flash, we're looking for exaptive. We're not looking to adapt your setup moves. We're looking to take your setup moves or your sequences. We're not looking to adapt them. We're looking to figure out something that's like completely new. Like, holy shit, dog catch to reverse back fault? Holy shit. Whoa. Right? And now you have this exaptive idea of throwing your dog for the dismount, of dismounting out of a dog catch or even a stall into the right position or the right place. And then the other, I'll get off on this and we'll talk a little bit and then we'll dig out. The other thing that I think is really critical with this framework, do you see how here the clear has this dark line, right? So this is really fucking dark line, yeah? And that's there for a reason. Chaotic, we haven't talked about chaotic at all. When you step into a chaotic situation, there are no effective constraints on this situation. So when you have no effective constraints, you can't affect the situation in any way for sure, right? You act, sense, and respond. And then you amplify, dampen, or choose another action, right? And so whenever you're encountered with chaos, you act, sense, respond, right? You act first, and then everything revolves around you, and you try to get it back to the clear or the complex, right? I'm sorry, you try and get it back to the complex, or you stop and take it back to the clear and complicated, right? But your goal is to get out of there as quickly as you can because you have no constraints. You can't do anything. You can't make anything happen. You can only get out quickly before you get pummeled, right? And this is where completely novel things happen. So when the shit completely hits the fan, something novel and interesting might happen. You should keep your eyes about you, right?
Definitely.
But you act first, yeah. So here's the coolest thing about this. Here's the coolest thing about this. Clear and chaotic are right next to each other because all we have are best practices, right? And this is super simple, right? I'm telling my dog to sit. I'm jaying up my hand. The dog is looking up. His ass is here. Everything's fucking great, right? But when that no longer works, and it's a clear thing, like it's a super simple thing, you fall immediately into chaos. Immediately. You fall off the cliff into chaos. A bad drop, you fall immediately into chaos. Anytime you think something is clear or complicated and it's really complex, you're barely going to hold that shit together. Or, you're barely going to hold that shit together until you fall into chaos. Reactive dog, drive management, anything that you think is ordered, I have control of. I control the drop. He drops when I say. Just happens that you move when you say too, so he doesn't really drop when you say, right? If you made that mistake and then you treat it as if it's done, you're going to fall into chaos. Right? Because you didn't recognize that you were in complex. Right? And you didn't look at your responses as probes. You were so sure that it was working. And that's what happens over there on that ordered side. It fucking works until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. And then it's gone. And anyway, I'm super, we didn't even get the center thing. The C in the center right there. That's confused. Right? Oh no, I'm not there anymore, am I? Do I have, hang on, what? Why isn't my cursor there? There it is. That C in the center, that stands for confused. And you shouldn't be there, right? But it happens. And you should acknowledge that it's happened, get here, and get somewhere other than chaos or confused quick, right? There's also this, I can't remember what it's called. It's almost a made up word. It's a very strange word. And this is the place where you it's like maybe like a rally point or a starting point. So do you see that this arc is dipping into chaos?
Yeah.
And dipping into the clear? And dipping into the complicated? All right, there's some overlap there, and I don't quite know how it works, but you purposefully set up in there at times, and I got to figure out how that works. But I'm super stoked about this, man, because, dude, knowing that when you go out and play with your dog on the field, you should probe, sense, and then respond. And that anytime you don't know what you're doing, right? Or you don't have full control over what you're doing, you should probe, sense, and respond, and then amplify or dampen. Dude, fuck, that's awesome, right? Or anytime anytime you were looking at standard dog behavior, you sense it, you categorize it, you respond to it, right? If you can't categorize it, then you need to analyze it. Right? And it isn't that simple, elegant, best practice you thought it was. It's actually a little more complicated than that, right? And when you get up into the complicated and you do sense, analyze, respond, you run through that a few times, and you run out of analysis, well, now you've moved over to complex. And now you probe, sense, and respond in order to learn how to play, in order to, right? And dude, it's huge, man. And hopefully it's resonating as much with you as it did with me, because I haven't been able to find anything that gets close to my flow chart, to my working kind of flow chart. Nothing's even come close. And this, like, every time I think of a concept, man, it's like, oh yeah, and you know, there's fucking, what's his name? Dave Snowden talking about it on YouTube. Right? I'll go to his next thing and he'll be talking about what I was thinking about. It's crazy. So yeah, nerd out. Sorry, I didn't run too many people off. That's good. That's
all good, man.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Oleg? What's that? Go Hero. Right? A little shout out. Yeah, Oleg, was that wow for the Kenevin framework? I think that's how you pronounce it. It's hard. It's something Kevinish. Well, cool. So what's on the agenda for you this weekend, Beau?
Well, it's what's the time?
10:19.
So it's 10:30 at night at the moment. So we're gonna get some sleep pretty soon, and then tomorrow hopefully we've got some sunshine, do some filming, do some training, do some trigger practice,
Right? Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
and probably start the bus up and get it moving around a bit.
Yeah, another thing you could do to kind of make that a hot behavior for that dog is to do some stall work
Yep.
and maybe prime a pedestal with a shit ton of value, and then gap jump to your back stall. Gap jump to your back stall and pay him copiously with cookies in the back stall. Just make that like hot and sticky, and then drop a nice clean trigger with your leg vault, right? So you're kind of hiding that knee or blocking him off, right? So you can see here, you can go by. You can't go by here, right? And what I would do is I would hold here and throw, right? And let that open be that presentation of obstacle. But if you can, I would try and lay your leg into something, and you gotta lay it like side. It's really fucking awkward, dude. It sucks. It sucks. And you don't want your dog to jump off it when it's laying like that, I don't think either. I think that could be really bad. But you can get the appearance of the obstacle while kneeling. And I would actually recommend doing it standing. Yeah, I would recommend hard-assing it standing, if you know what I mean by that. Like, just give them the criteria, give them the cue, and rely on your training. And but you might want to stick with the one you're doing already and see if you can't just get that obstacle presentation nice and clean.
We'll probably do a heap of pedestal work. Sim just whispered in the background he's scared of heights. So
yeah,
we might
could be.
Yep. For being off the ground.
Yeah, well, he needs more pedestal work.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Needs more pedestal work, and the that's so awesome, dude. Here I am. Have you heard of the Kennevan framework? Have you heard of that? Let me tell you all about it again. Rate of reinforcement, clear criteria, reward placement. Use those and change that. And don't try and get him higher and higher and higher. He's not going to high dive. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to go higher. He needs to like to be somewhere above the ground. Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. On top of something. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, we don't need to take him on top of the garage or on top of the bus,
One dog's enough.
Yeah, but I would go back at it with the idea to add a shit ton of value to the pedestal, right? To make it sticky, so when you do present the back, that he'll have some like, it's pretty cool up there. My feet go up there, right? Especially when the target is visible early enough. I'm sorry, not early enough. If the target is visible if the target is visible, if he leaps for a visible target. It's really important, by the way, to say it like that. Before, and you're in the same boat you were in before, you're going to look and wait, and am I on time and all that shit. You don't want it like that. You want to throw it so he leaves the ground for the target. There's no time in that. And if you throw it so he leaves the ground for the target, he can't trajectory base leap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 10:30 at night, the monsters are coming out in Australia, I'm sure. Super cool, Beau.
Guys, well, I do want to say good luck to everyone tomorrow or today for you guys, and especially Team Hero. Kill it.
Woo! Sweep again. Yep, I'm gonna be broadcasting live, fingers crossed, everything works out. As soon as we're off here, another 15 minutes, I'm going to start tearing everything down and getting ready to head over to the field. So super
Sweet. Good luck,
awesome.
guys.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks a bunch. And thanks to everyone who came by and hung out. Catch the live
Steph,
stream
great.
from the field.
Have fun.
All right. And Beau, I'm gonna play meme roll. I'm gonna play meme roll number 3. Badass. It'll play us out. And Beau, I'll catch you up on Skype in the green room. Check y'all later.
Sweet.